As a marketer, you present your work. You finish the slides. The deck closes. There's that small pause, and then, almost automatically, you say it. So, what do you guys think? Or worse, you stay silent, and the meeting lead looks around and says, "Let's go around. I'd love to hear everyone's thoughts." It sounds collaborative. It feels inclusive. It feels mature. In reality, it's none of those things. What it actually is the time of death for your work. You just derail the whole thing because unintentionally you put everyone on the spot. The second that question lands, the whole room shifts. Everyone is now exposed. No one wants to look unintelligent. No one wants to look disengaged. No one wants to look unprepared. Silence becomes dangerous. If you don't speak, you look uninvolved. Everyone has to say something, anything. And when people are forced to contribute under pressure, they don't reach for criteria. They fall back to personal taste and opinions, random references from another brand, edge cases that may never happen, things they vaguely don't love. It sounds thoughtful, it sounds strategic. But here's the uncomfortable truth. The goal of that feedback was not to add value to your work. They performed contribution. They protected their image. A lot was said, nothing was decided. This keeps going. So you take notes. Then the feedback slows. No one directly disagrees. No one commits either. Then someone says the most polite sentence in corporate marketing. All of this is great. Let's incorporate the feedback and review again. The meeting ends. You close the laptop and you already feel it. It's not panic, not clarity, just fog. You tell yourself, once I summarize the notes, it'll all make sense. But it won't. The room wasn't evaluating, it was performing intelligence. And performed intelligence does not create direction. Now you are staring at 10 different preferences. Red from the product, blue from the sales, green from legal, yellow from leadership. You kind of need to mix all of them together. And you know what happens when you mix every color together, right? You don't get brilliance, you get mud. And that mud doesn't stay on the slide. It ends up on you, all over you. Because now you are responsible for turning noise into clarity. But there is no clarity in noise. You can't go back and ask, can you guys add anything specific? Because everyone feels like a lot was said. Surely you understood. You're a marketer. That's your job. So you work. You adjust things that were not specific. You fix things that were not defined. You reinterpret 10 different signals and guess which ones carry weight. And here's the real problem. Without specific feedback, there is no reason round 2 will go any better than round 1. You just hope it will. This creates an open loop in your head, so the work follows you home. You open it at night. You tweak headlines, shift layouts. You rewrite messaging, but you are not solving a defined problem. You're solving fog, and fog doesn't clear with effort. Round 2 comes. Same ritual. You present, pause, what do you think? More commentary. Round 3. It keeps going. Then eventually the tone changes. Why is this taking so long? That question doesn't circulate. It doesn't hover. It lands. You know whose fault it's going to be, right? Yours. No one sees structural instability. All they see is execution speed. And execution has a face. Your face. Here's what actually happened. The moment you asked an open-ended question, you removed all constraints. You removed declared evaluation standards. You removed ownership of the decision. And without constraints, people default to contribution. Contribution feels productive, but contribution without criteria simply dilutes clarity. So clarity shrinks and authority leaks. And it leaks toward the person whose name is attached to the work. You. If you want meetings to end with decisions instead of drift, stop asking for opinions. Start asking for evaluation against standards. Instead of, what do you think? Ask, does this solve the agreed problem? Which criteria does this fail? Are we committing to this direction under these trade-offs? Notice what changes. The room slows. People reference something concrete. Speaking requires specificity. Vagueness becomes uncomfortable. Now input has edges. Edges create gravity. Gravity makes decisions land. After evaluation, close explicitly. Say, this is the selected direction. It moves forward unchanged, as is. Then stop talking. Silence forces ownership. If criteria change, we reset the decision. We don't tweak inside it. Now, reopening requires naming a changed variable, not vague discomfort. That protects the decision, and it protects you, because it forces the room to absorb uncertainty upfront, instead of smearing it all over you later. If your meetings feel loud but rarely decisive, if work keeps reopening, if you are carrying version 5 into week 3, look at the question being asked. Open-ended feedback feels collaborative, but without structure, it creates mud, and mud always lands somewhere. Make evaluation structured. Name the standards. Close explicitly. Contain the drift. Or keep asking, what do you think? And keep wearing the consequences.